Hello, everybody. Day 3 of Rich.
Day,
Look at that. Wow.
is it 3? Has it been 3
It-
days?
Yep. Episode 4 from the
So
we
at
have
this point, I've done more on
you have
FuryCast
done more than Dale. You have
Dale.
done 3 times more than Dale.
There you go. Come on, Dale, get on.
So
What's
everybody
going
on the Rumble chat, please let me know if you can see us. Make sure we are on. Kind of let me know. Make sure that everything is working like it is supposed to.
Yeah, and let's remind everybody we cannot post the stuff from Rumble.
Are you seeing us on the? Yep, there we go. Perfect.
Yeah, we can see it, but we can't post it.
So now we are on, and it's hey, it's working. We have one little thing to fix, and we'll get there. But okay, so today what we want to talk about Iran. We haven't really talked about it much, so we want to talk about Israel and Iran, that conflict.
Escalating, isn't it?
Iran. Now,
Iran or Iran?
When did that happen? But anyway,
I don't know. They need to run.
Virginia. What is her? How do you pronounce her name?
From her name is
Gerfor.
No, Shafray.
Virginia Shafray from the Epstein list. She has a video that she posted. It's going to be interesting to watch.
She posted it before she committed suicide. Allegedly committed suicide.
Yeah. We are going to talk about the China interference. There's a story out there. Patel is issuing some things, and that surprises us, but it's just kind of interesting. And what do you think will happen? Probably nothing. We also want to talk about ICE raiding a meatpacking company, and by God, what happened as a result? And it's kind of interesting, and we'll go over that. Kind of a nice little fun thing there that we have. And I want to talk about these whining politicians that are doing it for show, folks. They're just going into these ICE. They're trying to get arrested. It is a badge of honor.
Could you be speaking of someone out of New York? I don't know.
And
maybe.
And the senator from the Padilla, the Senator Padilla. And guys, they're doing this for show. They're doing it to be set up. And so anyway, none of us are falling for it. And plus the top 5 shows that ended way too soon.
Too soon, Jim.
We have that and so much more from this entertaining podcast that I don't know why everybody's not watching.
Exactly.
Rich, what is it?
Well, good morning, Patriots. Live from FuryCast Network. We are 2 guys and 1 coup. Rolled intro.
Look at the excitement.
You guys
just tuned in to Truth Uncaged. 2 guys, 1 coup. Only on the FuryCast Network. Sway like a battle cry. Steel-tuned riffs set the sky on fire. No script, no leash, no fake parade. We bring the storm you're too scared to name. 2G, 1C, thunder with strange. FuryCast Network, let freedom ring. 2 guys, 1 coup, forged to defy. Slicing through silence with metal that flies. March to the rhythm of violence and rage. Truth lock loaded, we've broken the cage. No puppets here, just blood and voice. This is the people's battle choice. 2G, 1C, roar and bold. FuryCast forged in red, white, gold. 2 guys, 1 coup, never retreat. We own the volume and bring the heat.
Okay,
Right.
folks, Dale returns Monday.
Does he?
But he sent me a note and wanted me to thank everybody for the patience.
Yes.
They're doing some things that are very important with involving his family, his mother. So bless, hope they're safe travels when they head back
Yes.
home here shortly. But he will be on Monday.
He's
He
up
will
here
be
in my
back.
state, or he
Yep,
was.
yep, he
Yes.
still is.
Okay.
And so he will be back on Monday. So we'll look forward to seeing him. And again, he wants to thank everybody for his patience, and he will be back.
Cool. Hey, and
Mini
before we
ball.
get started, I want to say, you guys, we will be launching, and Dale knows, or Jim knows about this. I keep calling you Dale because you're on my left, so that's where Dale sits. Anywho, we'll be launching, and for everyone to be able to pick up on our website, 2G1C swag. It's coming up, guys. It's going to be ours.
Exciting.
And we will be launching that, so you'll be able to represent them even not watching.
That would be awesome. Yeah, thank you very much for that. We really appreciate that. We look forward to it. We hope we hope it can help out. But yeah, Coup Crew especially can't wait for
Yeah.
it to come out. It's really exciting. I thank
Yeah.
you. We really appreciate that.
Well, you
So,
guys will be representing it here shortly. I'll be sending you some.
Awesome.
So
perfect.
look for that. We'll have some hats and some shirts and all that kind of stuff. And just a side note, real quick, we will be launching a new John Tig. John Tig. Did I say Tig? Because
Yeah.
his last name's Tigan.
Tigan, right?
But he goes by Tig. So, anyways, John Tig Tigan, a couple of shirts for him that will be coming up as well. And I may show a little sneak peek later, possibly.
It's really cool, folks, and we can get into it when we show it the more who Tig actually is. For those of you who aren't familiar, one of our
Benghazi.
heroes. He's from Benghazi, the heroes of Benghazi. It's the shirt is really cool. I'm just going to tell you. So
that's only one. We're going to be doing two
Yep.
for him. We've got a front design and a back design for those people who like the back shirt design.
It's so awesome. It's special. I mean, it is a special thing that he's sharing.
Yeah, and I can get into more of that, but it is a kind of a special shirt directed right to Tig. So, all right.
Very cool. Okay, Mini Ball, welcome back. I see that you're on the chat. Welcome back. Welcome Tarna, Miss Leslie, Aiken, all the usuals. And I see Miss Sharon is back watching.
Where is
she is on there too. So welcome one and all. Welcome everybody on X. Welcome everybody wherever you're watching us from. We're gonna jump right into Iran. We're gonna let Rich kind of take over a little bit, start talking about it, and then of course, as usual, I have comments because I have comments. So Rich, go ahead and take it away.
We all know what's going on in Iran, correct? I mean, it's escalating, and it's all about nuclear. I mean, they want to continue to build nuclear bombs. How ironic is that? Is it Iran or Run?
I call it
Iran or Iran. I don't know. They better run is what I look at. I got a couple videos. And then I got who funded some of this stuff, just a remembering of who did that. So, but anyways, let's just go to this one right here.
And he made clear Iran is not getting.
Let me back that up a little bit.
Well, listen, President Trump throughout this conflict has been fantastic. I spoke to the president on Sunday and just told him, I said, your leadership has been so critical on this. And he made clear Iran is not getting a nuclear weapon, and he is standing with Israel. I believe our position should be we stand unequivocally with the state of Israel. And I'll make a point. Israel is doing an enormous favor to the United States right now. I believe the most acute near-term security threat facing America is the threat of a nuclear Iran, because the Ayatollah is a religious nutcase. He is a theocratic mass murderer. And when he chants death to America and death to Israel, he does so in front of mobs of people.
All right. So let me throw that back at you, Jim. What do you think of Ted Cruz, what he was saying? Agree or disagree or on the border? I know a lot of people are on the border about what he's saying, but what do you think?
As far as what Israel does, Israel's doing everybody a favor.
Yes.
And in my case right now, I think Israel needs to take care of it, and the United States needs to support them from afar right now. I don't think we need to send our jets over there. I don't think we need to do anything because Israel's very capable of doing it.
Because Lindsey Graham came on and said we need to have boots on the ground right now. I mean, we need to be over there. And I hear a lot of people saying we didn't vote for this, but you know what? We voted for the safety of the United States. And if Iran points nuclear weapons at New York as they've threatened, you're going to wish we did something. So I guess that's where I'm at.
And Tarna mentioned on here, everyone can thank Barry for funding them. Ironically, Rich, let's play that little video.
Let's go ahead into this one right here.
Miss Leslie, they're also on the
For the United States, this settlement could save us billions of dollars that could have been pursued by Iran. So there was no benefit to the United States in dragging this out.
Well, I think that was
the United States and Iran are now settling a long-standing Iranian government.
So basically, we know we know where the money that Obama, yes, he was the one funding the nuclear weapons in Iran. It always, I don't know, Jim. Do you believe it always goes back to the Obamas, or at least a lot of it?
It completely goes back there. He started it. This whole deal he had. What we talked about off the air. 60 days notification before you come in and inspect.
Yeah, and 60 days. On 61, what happened? You know, they decided to not listen and start going with people. Let me tell you, we do not want Iran to have nuclear weapons, because I'm going to tell you straight up, they will use them against us. They'll use them in the Middle East.
Israel's done. Which is why Israel's defending themselves, and Israel has to. So for all you people out there who hate Israel, and look, they've caused problems. I get it. I know the Mossad is, man, they're, can they be trusted? But folks, this is a country the size of New Jersey, right? That is fighting off these major nations that surround them, that hate them, that want them gone, that want them is completely, and not to mention the fact that we have American citizens that are protesting, wanting them gone.
Right.
So it's they're defending themselves, and they have a right to defend themselves. Now, whether you want to start debating or not, whether we should get involved is another issue.
Right.
But Barack Obama started this with all that, and then Biden
funding
$6 billion. Is that correct?
I think
he released $6 billion back to them under his. Let's not forget about that, folks.
And let's not forget, let's not forget when Trump came in office in 2017, how he stopped the money going over there that was already set to go. If you remember that situation, Trump came in and said, nope, we're not sending that out. We're not funding them. Now, I get some people are on the fence with Ted Cruz. I mean, he was on with Tucker Carlson, and he asked him about how many people are in Iran or Iraq, whatever you want to call it. He didn't know the population. He says, well, how do you not know the population of who you want to topple? Well, there's 92 million people that live in Iran. So for those who want to know, that's how many people are over there. I don't know the military age of that 92 million, but we cannot, as the United States, let them have nuclear weapons.
No.
So I whether you want to believe it or not, if this is what we voted for, we voted for Trump to keep the United States safe. Right. Our borders and air. And real quick, I just want to show something. This is about a minute and so long, just to kind of give you a glimpse. And you might have seen this on TikTok, a little glimpse of what United States Air Force represents compared to all these other countries. So cool. Here we go. Let me restart this. So you got Iran with 551 aircraft, military aircraft, then 560, and it just keeps going. Wait till you get to the end here. Anybody got a guess?
12.
What's that?
Israel has 612.
612.
England only has 664.
United Kingdom, England, 665. Italy, Saudi Arabia, you've heard of them in the news, right? North Korea.
And those 1,080 that Egypt has are ours.
That's right, exactly.
Japan, same thing.
Japan, India. We're getting the United States here. China. Russia. Now, here's the United States.
Russia's at 4,211, the second one.
United States. That gives perspective. We have nearly 15,000 military aircraft. Okay. And one thing that you mentioned, Jim, is that we know how to use them.
Yeah, we're pretty good at that.
So that gives perspective. Why anybody would want to mess with the United States is beyond me. Not only do we know how to use them, but we are the strongest, in my opinion, military in the world.
mhm.
And we've proven that over and over again with almost 15,000 aircrafts. Not only that, we have several soldiers. I don't know, we got how many guns are in homes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know what won the Revolutionary War, right? It was
Yep.
the militia. It was
It's
the
not-
farmers. It was the people that had guns.
It's
So-
not our military and it's not our American people that are the problem when it comes to America. It is the leaderships.
right.
It's who is in leadership at the time of it. And right now, I would not want to mess with the United States of America. Our military is getting right. We're getting fixed. We're getting
Right.
woke out. Woke is no place for military. It's absolutely none. I don't care what anybody says. You can say whatever you want.
Mhm.
It is not a place for wokeness. You need
Right.
strength and you need power and you need these people focused on their jobs, not
Right.
on feelings, not
Well,
on. Now, I will say this.
Yes.
We do have situations where we have to accept PTSD, and I won't go into this too much because we'll go into it more later. But the PTSD, so that has to be taken seriously, and those soldiers have to be helped. Okay, they have to be
That's a
assisted.
given.
They have to be helped.
I mean,
And
the VA needs to wake up if we're going to go down that road. I mean, and start helping these
Yeah.
people. I mean, I think the 22 suicides, I think it's gone up to 24. If I'm not mistaken, it's no
Yeah.
longer 22. I think it's been up to 24 now of people committing suicide. That's
and I want to say, Mike, welcome from Mike to the point. Welcome. Look,
Yes.
folks, Iran is a danger to the world. Okay, and again, all the Englands, the Frances, Germanys, all of these countries of the world they may speak against it, but underneath and on the end, behind the scenes, they're telling Israel, do what you need to do. I mean,
Yeah,
President Trump told Tehran, you might want to leave.
you might want to leave. So let me ask you: if a war breaks out like like WW3, where would Canada be? Would they be on our side?
I think overall that would have to be because
They would have to be. I mean, I get they
yeah.
would have to, but I mean, I would think they'd probably. I don't know. I would
there
hope
might be one of those that stay out of it. Maybe, I don't know.
maybe.
Because really and honestly, we don't. To be completely honest with you, depending on who the World War was with, who it was against. Because China wants nothing to do with the United States.
Right.
Not just you looked at we're talking about Air Force. That was just our Air Force strength.
Yeah, let's
We separate from everyone else
Mm-hmm.
is our Navy.
Yeah.
That our naval power. Yeah, they have aircraft carrier. They have an aircraft carrier. One aircraft carrier. We've got a bunch of them. We
have a bunch,
have
and we know
subs.
how to
We have-
use them.
Yep.
And we have Top Gun pilots too that know how to fly these aircrafts that come off of those ships. Let me tell you, I don't understand why. Well, first of all, with Trump in office, that's even more the reason not to mess with the United States.
Yep.
Maybe when Biden was in, we had balloons going across and China checking us out and surveilling United States, but I don't think Trump's going to put up with it.
Yep.
So I am not advocating for war. Please
No, we
understand.
never want
I
to.
don't want war, but I want a safe United States. I have grandkids. I
Mhm.
have family that I want to be protected, and that's what I voted for.
And folks, the last 4 years we were being invaded.
I think so.
We were literally, and not even the last 4 years. When we show this little thing about China, we're going to go back even before that.
Right.
That we were being invaded by foreign countries with
Right.
bad intentions on us. And I'm not just talking about the cartels. I'm not just talking about the terrorists. I'm talking about China. I'm talking about Russia. They had people coming across our border, just walking in. And China had an interesting point. And So are we ready to move on to that story, or do you want
Yeah,
to?
yeah. No, I think we've hit Iran. We
Yep.
know what's going on. People, keep abreast of what's going on. The best thing to do for our listeners is to always follow what's going on and understand that there's some evil. I mean, there's evil in this world that needs to be stopped.
Yep.
Yeah,
And,
go ahead.
And also pay close attention to Israel is bombing sites.
Right.
They're bombing military sites.
Correct.
Iran is bombing citizens.
Well, and my wife made an interesting point this morning. If we bomb a nuclear plant in Iran, won't that set off nuclear weapons? No, and yes and no. It will set them off, but they're not live to the point of nuclear that way, where you and I talked offline. So hopefully we get it stopped.
Yep, and hopefully the cooler heads will prevail, because right now Israel is probably the only nation that use our planes, aircrafts better than we do. So just be careful. So, okay. So what we found, look, guys, we knew something was wrong in 2020, right? We knew something was going on. All the fake crap that went on in 2016 about Russia and everything else. Well, if you've seen the story, Kash Patel has turned over documents detailing alarming allegations of interference by the Chinese Communist Party in the 2020 election. And this is according to the Senate Judiciary Committee Chair, Chuck Grassley, out of Iowa. The FBI has located documents which detail alarming allegations related to the 2020 U.S. election, including allegations of interference by CCP. I have immediately declassified the material and returned the documents for Chair Grassley for further review. But I want to play a video, folks, because listen to what they say, because the border comes into effect here. All right. You wonder what was going on with the border, right? So you wonder
there's always something going on.
Why Biden opened the border. We always know this, right? We always knew that. No, we always know this. We always knew this, that the border was open because they needed voters. But listen to this. And you know how close Biden was with China, right? Just listen to the beginning of this gentleman when he talks. This is weird, folks.
Something of a bombshell, actually, being released by Kash Patel and company. Chinese foreign nationals were illegally immigrating into the United States, crossing our southern border by the tens of thousands. For what purpose? And so those Chinese nationals, whatever Chinese nationals were here, were being used in order to help rig the election for Joe Biden, according to these allegations, specifically designed to benefit Biden. He also said the intelligence report was recalled within a few weeks, and then the allegations were never fully investigated. Oh, so the government just turned a blind eye to it, on the grounds that the source needed to be re-interviewed. Well, we should re-interview. So in the midst of the abuse that was perpetrated on the planet by China, they were working to rig the 2020 election to get Joe Biden elected, who was paid by China. Want to see more?
Well, that's, yeah. And not only that, COVID came out, and we know that came from China. So they had so many things going on to interfere with the election.
So when you look at everything as a whole, now we really, everything is coming to a head on why the border was just come on in. Because now in doing so, folks, Biden, who we know is a paid from China, right? The guy is owned by China. We know that. We've seen it, and it's not allegations. It's there. We know it. The family and all that stuff. But now they allowed them to come in. These Chinese individuals to come in to help offset the election in 2020. Right. Okay. Not only that, China started the COVID thing. They couldn't beat President Trump with COVID shutdowns. They couldn't beat President Trump with this fake, it's his fault. It's doing this. They couldn't beat him. They had to cheat. That is the only way they could have knocked him out.
The only way. I mean, we can go back to the first term in 2016 against Clinton. They cheated back then. I'm saying it. I don't care. It's out there. They cheated back then, but they didn't cheat good enough.
Right, because they didn't anticipate.
They didn't anticipate
just like
us
2024,
patriots
folks.
coming out. Yeah,
Just like 2024, they didn't
2024
anticipate.
just didn't pay that
Nope,
much.
nope.
There's no,
Look,
I don't care. There's no way Kamala, whatever her name is these days, got that many votes.
nope.
Sorry.
And so you look at why they had all this stuff. You look at why they had it going on, and so now it makes more sense as we go in a whole. Now, the question that everybody out there is asking, because
I'm asking it.
Rich
I'm
asked
asking
it
it.
too. What's going to happen?
What?
So what? We have this Christopher Wray right now from
Right.
what Kash Patel said. That man, you either send it to a God, help me.
I'm not sure where you're going.
I know that you send it to a jury, but it's a form.
Grand jury.
Grand jury. Thank you. Send it to a grand jury.
Okay.
Get this thing done. Get charges done. Because right now there's enough in there for Ray to be
Right.
busted. Okay.
Right.
Now, what do you do when you get to Christopher Wray?
Mm.
Okay. Now we start dealing. Right. Okay. So this is treason. You can
Right.
charge him for treason.
Right.
Name names.
Exactly.
Boom. That's
Boom.
how we start getting this crap.
Exactly. And it goes back to what I was saying on Monday is that I with everybody else out there are tired of things not happening. Quit talking and let's just, I want to see people in handcuffs.
They need to be, and we need to start seeing it, because right now, from what I see, with the border being let wide open,
Mm-hmm.
Mayorkas,
Yeah,
Garland, and Biden,
mm-hmm.
you three right there caused detriment to this country with letting these illegals in that killed American citizens with drugs and with their hands. Okay, they killed American citizens. The American citizens were being placed second behind these people here illegally, with giving them food, shelter, food, clothing, everything. They were put under, while our American citizens, our warriors, our veterans are in the streets, starving, freezing to death. And there is no way they can explain away from this. But what they want to do these No Kings protests. They want to do this. Let's go get ICE. Let's blame ICE for everything, because they need distractions, because they don't want their people, these minions that are out there that were at these protests, we're at these riots in some cases, they don't want them to realize the truth, because they know they will never look for the truth. They don't care. They're told what to say. It's like AOC and Crockett. Don't worry, we'll tell you what to do. You just wait till we tell you what to do it.
Right.
And that's what they're doing.
Yeah, and you talked about the No Kings thing. I have a little comment I want to read here about the No Kings. So we got the left saying that Trump is being a dictator and he wants to become a king. But just remember, this was the left doing all this. I'm going to read a few things here. No kings, but put on your mask.
Yep.
No kings, but lock us down. No kings, but I'm firing you for not getting vaccinated. No kings, but you cannot go outside. No kings, but we don't accept your exemption. No kings, but we're shutting your business down. Remember that? No kings, but we can't worship the real king, which is go to church and stuff. Like no kings, but your family members will die alone. I can tell you, I remember seeing my mother-in-law. She's in a assisted living. We had to watch her and talk to her through a window during COVID. She's 96 years old. And during COVID, we had to talk to her through a window because we weren't allowed inside to see her. So I can go on, no kings, but mandate galores. It just goes on and on. The stuff that was going on back then, but they're the ones that are trying to be a dictatorship.
Isn't it kind of ironic that you had all these individuals out there talking about their constitutional rights being taken away from them? The immigration made this country. Well, yeah, immigration made this country. Legal immigration made this country. Illegal did not. Okay. So, but you look at everything that they posted out there in the last 4 years with COVID, how COVID came, and then under the Biden administration, those rights that those individuals were talking about were taken away. They just didn't realize it because they're minions and they don't think for themselves. They never have been able to think for themselves. They tell you what to say, they tell you what to do, and they don't investigate it. They don't realize how stupid they're being on being, and all the leftists are sitting back just laughing, going, "Wow, this is easy."
And
And
answer me this, Jim. Why do they all look alike?
yep,
There's something
exactly.
about them that as
Mhm.
soon as you see them, they dress alike, they act alike, they got the purple hair, the green hair, whatever, and they scream profanity at the top of their lungs instead of trying to have a civilized argument.
Yep. Tarna mentions that she's tired of waiting. So we all are at 100% mini ball. Ray might start blowing the whistle to save his own skin. That's what we
Yep.
said when we were talking about it, because that is so true. You won't be surprised. These people are cowards. When they're confronted with their own life, okay,
Right.
they're going to open up. They're going to talk. They're cowards. They're not going to die on the sword. Well, they will die because they will be suicided. But anyway, so then Tarna, don't tell me we don't have enough evidence on these a-holes. We do. We absolutely have enough evidence on these guys to bring charges. Why are they not? I don't know. I believe Mini Ball, I believe that children call that tattling. Correct. So Mini Ball, I said I don't see where the government has a very good range of things on charges being upheld. Good point. And then Tarna mentioned that she remembered what you said about those. Yep, about all that stuff.
Seeing my mother-in-law through a window.
Yep. So and then so everything that we're talking about, folks, is they did it to us. They did it to them. They did it to the people that were out protesting. They convinced them, and even now with all the evidence that's out there, they didn't have to do it.
What about the 6-foot rule?
Yep.
You know, what about walking down your grocery aisle a certain way? What about the plastic plexiglass that they put in front of you, but if you stepped a foot to the right or left, you were talking around it?
Yep.
It's so stupid. It's retarded.
So folks, this whole thing, we know that we knew the cheating happened. We knew it was there. Now evidence is starting to come about. So we just need to go through. Now, folks, I want to play, I'm going to play the long version. So bear with me, of Warrior Shield. This is Warrior Shield Wednesday.
Warrior Shield Wednesday.
We are going to talk about the Warrior Shield weekend. It's the weekend that's coming up. And so it's a little long, so bear with me, but it's a really cool video.
Let's do it.
So let's do it.
The Warrior Shield Foundation proudly presents Warrior Weekend, a 3-day event from September 5th through September 7th at the Rosen Center in beautiful Orlando, Florida, which honors and supports the Corporal Chad Eric Oleg Schlager Foundation for PTSD, raising awareness and resources for its vital mission to help our most valuable heroes, our veterans. This powerful weekend will feature live performances by country music recording artist Ryan Weaver.
It's a long way to home, but you won't take the hard road all alone.
American Idol runner-up Bo Bice.
Tired of looking down roads, wondering what I gotta do, who I'm supposed to be. I don't wanna be anything other than me.
Christian contemporary and country artist Natasha Owens.
God and country strong, give me a cowboy who knows left from right from wrong.
Florida native and national recording artist Sean Holcomb.
You just watch your mouth. You don't know what you're talking about. There's a cupboard and a map if you need.
In addition to all of the musical artists performing at the event, meet John Tig Tigan and Dave Boone Benton. 2 true American heroes who stood their ground and defeated armed terrorists on September 11th, 2012 in Benghazi, Libya. Not only can you meet Tig and Boone, but you can spend the day at the range, shooting and learning from the best of the best. Another hero that you will not want to miss is Colonel Gregory Gadsden. an American actor and motivational speaker, and a retired colonel and former commander in the United States Army. Colonel Gadsden is also a bilateral, above-the-knee amputee who served in the Army for 25 years of active duty as a field artillery officer. Nowhere else will you be able to meet this all-star lineup while supporting our veterans and first responders. This is an event of a lifetime, and one you do not want to miss. Get your tickets now, online, at warriorshield.org, and support those who fought and sacrificed so much for all of us.
Guys, let me tell you, it's going to be an event that you don't want to miss. You guys, Dale and Jim, came for the first time last year, and I think you guys are set to come the rest of your life now, right?
As long as you,
You can-
as long as you guys let us.
I'm just, Corporal Chad O is the recipient this year, and you can make donations to warriorshield.org. Thank you, Leslie.
Yep. And we will have another special next
with
Wednesday
Tig,
night.
I believe,
Yep,
right?
with Tig. Yep, Tig Tigan is coming on. He's coming on to talk about just the event, what brought him to it,
Right.
just experiences and why it's important. And folks, just if you can't make the whole event, okay, if you can't, the concert's more than worth coming to.
And I think it's what, 40, 50 bucks or something.
For 4 fantastic artists.
And let me say
50
something about Sean. Sean is going to be an up and coming star. So,
Yes.
and we already know about Natasha and Ryan Weaver, a good friend of mine. First time I saw him in concert, my wife and I were blown away. He just puts on such a great show. He interacts with the audience. He has great patriotic. That's what he sings about, USA and stuff like that, and the fallen. Remember, he's a 2 Gold Star member. He lost his brother and brother-in-law in active duty. So go check him out also at ryanweaver.net. Download his music. Natasha Owens, download her music, and Sean will download. And Bo Bice, you got to meet him last year. Bo is different on stage than he is in person. He's very humble. How you doing? I love you, brother. Yep. And then he gets up there and screams his voice projects so wonderfully when he sings.
I've said it before. He and Sean are 2 of the most soft-spoken people
yes.
to me. And then you see them get on stage like, what the heck?
What just happened?
And I'm telling you, Natasha is a genuine person. Right. Yes. She is what you see. She is just one of the most special people. She'll do this. She'll do it for anybody. She supports everything. Ryan, he is not fake one bit, one iota. No. The man is who he says he is. He is 100%.
He's a very loyal guy too. Yep. Very loyal.
And if you're loyal to him,
yep,
he's loyal to you. Just these are all fantastic people. All that now I've met Ryan. That was the first time we met Ryan, but we've interviewed him many times.
Right.
Natasha, we've interviewed her many times. We're going to get to meet her for the first time.
I haven't met her
we
yet.
First met Bo and Sean at last year's event. And guys,
Sean was the first. Last year was the first time meeting Sean. I had met Bo, and I've talked with him prior to last year. But he's come to our event a couple times, and he'll be there again this year and singing. I'm telling you guys. Yes, come help out. And then let's not forget what we're doing this for. We're raising money to give for PTSD. And that goes to the recipient of Corporal Chad O. So,
and they're talking on the chat here about mental disorders. And folks, we look at these warriors. We look at these strong men that fight for this country, that see things that we can even possibly imagine seeing. Yeah, we may watch a movie.
Right.
But it's a lot different us watching a movie than we are there.
Right.
But I am telling you that there's still even the strongest of us still need help. Even the strongest of us have mental capacity is only so strong. Now, God bless the ones that come back are fine. God
Right.
bless them. They're fantastic. But the ones that need help, we need to get them help. And that's what
Yeah.
this Corporal Shadow is all about.
Right.
And we truly, truly need to get this done because, folks, these guys fight for us. The reason why you and I are able to do this today,
Right.
the reason why everyone who's watching and commenting can do it today is because of them. And
Yeah.
I'm humbled that we have been accepted into the family,
Right.
and we will continue to be accepted. Hopefully, we
Yes.
will keep doing what we have to be part of the family. Well,
Yeah.
you never know. Dale and I have a tendency to say things that kind of get us in trouble, but
You know, and contrary to you may think, I know the 13-hour picture up there with John Krasinski from The Office. He will not be there.
no, yeah,
Just
please,
FYI, please don't think that you're going to meet him. He will not be there.
Yeah.
But if you haven't watched the movie that portrays Benghazi, you need to watch 13 Hours. It's a good rendition of it.
Yep.
The only difference is that they fire a lot of bullets, but we know, Jim, that
Yep.
perhaps it was no spray in the bullets. It was every shot was taken down a target. So we're talking about expert firemen. So
yeah, these are fantastic. It's
yeah,
great.
yeah. So go watch that movie
Yep.
before you come
And
then,
read the book.
Yeah, and read the book.
Yep.
Both Boone and
Sarah Adams.
Sarah Adams.
She followed up. Up with a book of her own to kind of go in a little bit more detail. So read her book as well, because it kind of gives
Yeah.
you the insight
Right.
from her position where she
And
was.
if you
at
don't
her
know
career.
Sarah Adams, go check her out. I
Yep.
mean,
She's
she's
fantastic, man.
wonderful. I know you've had her on your show before, so we're hoping to get her back on again. So anyways,
Okay.
support us
So-
if you can.
Yep.
And again, that is warriorshield.org. You can make donations, and that money, as the treasurer, I'm in charge of the money that's coming in and out. That money that comes in will go directly to Corporal Shadow.
Yeah, very
Okay.
few organizations can actually say that, so that's fantastic. And it's,
Yeah, we have 5 members. We don't take any pay, so
and they
anyhow.
work a lot.
yeah, we do.
So
Okay.
let's get to you got a video of Virginia. We need her
Chiffre.
from Epstein's List. You guys know her. She's the main one that came out. If you watch
She was
the documentary,
16 years old when she was recruited.
she was the one in the picture with Prince Edward. Okay, so
correct.
she was one of the biggest ones to come out. She was all over the. God, there I go again. She was all over the documentary. That was on. I can't remember what network it was on, but let's play that video because
Let's
remember,
play
folks,
it now. And just to give a little backstory, this was in April of this year. Supposedly, she committed suicide. This video is her talking and describing exactly what, and giving some names. So it's about 3 minutes long. I don't know if we'll play the whole thing, but I'm going to play it until it gets to at least to the names that she mentions. So, anywho, let's go ahead.
My dead man switch activated automatically after I missed 2 scheduled check-ins. I had it set up months ago because I knew this day was coming. I did not die by accident. I was murdered to keep their secrets buried. My name is Virginia Louise Giuffre. I was one of Jeffrey Epstein's victims. I survived Little St. James, but survival came at a price. I saw too much, knew too much, and now they've silenced me. But it's too late for them. They thought killing me would bury their secrets, but this video is going to a few organizations I trust, ones that have been exposing the truth for decades. You know who you are. It's your job to continue this fight. I was 16 when they reeled me in. I worked at Mar-a-Lago, folding towels, cleaning lockers. My father kept the tennis courts immaculate. We were just working folks trying to scrape by. Trump, he was around, but he was never the threat. The real predator was Ghislaine Maxwell, prim and proper, smiling, promising to teach me massage therapy at the Pink Mansion in Palm Beach. I had no idea I was being fed into a nightmare machine. Epstein's Island was hell disguised as paradise. You've heard some names linked to him, but those are just the sacrificial pawns. The real players, the ones they've protected at all costs, are still hiding in plain sight. I'll name 2 now. The first, a former U.S. president, Barack Obama. Publicly, he's revered. Privately, he was one of the worst. He wasn't there for the girls. He was there for the island boys. Young boys, trafficked and groomed. I saw him more times than I can count, always without his Secret Service detail, sometimes with his Hollywood friends, George Clooney and Tom Hanks. I still have nightmares about them, arrogant and drunk on power, slinking into the cabanas with kids barely out of childhood.
That's
The second,
sick.
Bill Gates, the billionaire philanthropist, loved by the media, hailed as a savior. We called him the benefactor, and we used to dread seeing him naked. But he didn't come to party. He came to experiment. Genetic experiments, human experiments. I saw him.
All right. Well, let's just end it there. It goes on. You can look at that. You can bring it up on X. Your
Ironically,
thoughts.
names that were never. Barack Obama's name hardly ever gets brought up.
And she mentioned that he was over there the most
with boys.
with
Which
boys.
neither here nor there. If he's gay, he's gay. That's not the issue. Boys.
Boys.
Boys,
And-
not men.
Right.
Boys.
Underage. Remember, she was underage to begin with. She was 16 years old when she was recruited.
But folks,
And
by
this-
the way, as you all know, that was recorded
before
she was
the
still,
suicide.
she knew that something was going to happen. She
Right,
knew the
and-
closer she got, something was going to happen.
Well, and there's other videos out there. Go on X. You can see, just type in her name. There's all kinds of videos out there. And there's this one. And this is like a 3-minute, but there's like a 7-minute video of it. There's other things that she names. It's sick. It's very sick to me to think that one of our presidents was doing this. Well, and then, you know what? If you're watching any movies of Clooney, Tom Hanks, you're supporting their agenda. In my household, there's a few names that it's sad. It's because, Tom Hanks puts good movies out. Robert De Niro put good movies out. George Clooney usually puts decent movies out, but we have chose not to.
Disney used to put fantastic movies out.
Well, there's a lot about Disney too. So, I could have showed a lot of videos about Disney as well. But in my household, my wife and I have just chosen not to play those movies anymore. And Goodfellas, all those are great movies, but we just choose not to watch them anymore. That's me.
Nope. There's nothing, because that's what that's what you have to do. See,
you have to blackball them, I think, right?
Yeah, because the more now look, they've made their money. They don't care.
They don't care. They don't care if I'm watching their movie. I get it.
Do you think Disney actually cared that the Snow White failed? Did you really think they cared? They don't care. The point they're trying to do is they're trying to just change over everybody. But the one person from the documentaries, okay, now he's always denied it, but Alan Dershowitz's name came up a lot during this documentary that was on there. So whenever I see him on Fox, whenever I see him on Hannity, whenever I see him on Jesse Waters, whenever I see him, I'm sorry, guys, I need some facts to prove to me that he was not part of it.
Right.
Because his name was brought up by these girls. Virginia is one of them.
Well, and
these girls brought his name up.
There's actually live video where she's actually live, not just voice, where she speaks about this too. So for anybody that's wondering if it's true or not, I can only speculate that was recorded correctly. Again, we don't claim to be. We put information out there. You guys definitely can make your choice whether you want to believe it or not. But I've seen her speak live before she was supposedly committed suicide and talking about this. So,
and folks, you heard some of the names. Now you know why that list is not coming out.
Well,
you know right there, because folks, and I don't give a crap what anybody says, leftist idiots out there. If President Trump's name was on that list,
it'd be out.
It would be out.
It
would have been leaked so quickly. It would have been leaked before the 2024 election. And so anyway, folks, it's that. So please keep an eye on that, because that, folks, this is sick as sick can get.
Well, it is. And regardless if those 3 people or 4 with Gates are on the list, or if this is a true video, we know what Epstein Island. We have enough information and enough accurate information to know what Epstein Island was doing. So take that in consideration.
Please.
And she's dead, and she came out in a live video say she is not suicidal in any way.
Yep.
So
That's what we've heard. Right? 'Cause
that's,
she even
and I've
said
heard
it.
her say it. She said
Yeah,
it
she
live
said it. I
in
am
a
not
live interview.
suicidal.
I'm
And
not suicidal. So
Yep.
that's all I have to say about it.
Yep.
So
okay, so I want to move on to ICE arrests. And remember how we always, especially Mayor Bass, and I want to go into a little bit of this. This might be the last story we have. We'll have to wait and see. But Mayor Bass comes out and says we need illegals, especially in the California economy, because they do the jobs Americans won't do. To me, that's indentured servants or
yes.
today's modern slavery.
Good
This
point.
is what they're
Good point.
saying. This is what they're saying. It's low. They take the low paying jobs. Anyway, so it's
Right.
modern day slavery is what my opinion is, and take it for what it's worth. But the FBI, or not FBI, ICE raided in Nebraska a meat packing plant. 70 of these individuals were arrested and taken into custody. Now they were detained. Now I don't know what's come of it, but you know how we always hear about, well, it's the jobs. What you didn't hear from the national media after this was done is that Americans and legal immigrants went to this meat packing place and applied for those jobs that are applying that, they're applying for those jobs that have now been taken away. So whether you believe the person or not, the owner of the meat packing, that he did E-Verify, and we know E-Verify has their failures, right? Because all E-Verify is you're taking the social security number, comparing it, making sure that it is a
Right.
social security number. But you have to do a little bit more stuff on it. Just having a social security number in a card doesn't necessarily say that's what this is, that this person's legit. But anyway, take that aside, because I don't want to go after what it was. But folks, when these people hire these illegals, when they sit there and say they want these illegals working in their fields, in their meat packing place or the hotels, it's because they don't have to pay them very much. What is that? That is isn't that bad? I mean, when did we get to this point where and again, I know I'm got to be careful how I use the term, but isn't that kind of modern day slavery? How many times do we bitch about what China does to kids? What China does to their people with the low pay? We're doing the same thing with the illegals. So you have these leftist idiots out there that are saying that we need these illegals because they do the job. Basically, they're our servants. We can't get rid of our servants. We need our servants. That's not what we do. If you're here illegally, I don't care whether it's 20 years, 30 years, 10 years, 5 years, 1 year, you're here illegally. Okay.
Let's start right there, Jim. If you're here illegally, you've committed a crime.
Yep.
Move on. Go ahead.
So anyway, I don't want to go too far into that, but what they say is Americans won't do those jobs. Well, maybe some Americans won't do the jobs because they won't go to this place that they know that they can pay. They don't have to pay benefits, right? You can pay them under the table. Don't know if this is what was happening. I have no idea, but you can pay them under the table. You don't have to have any record of anything going anywhere. And this is what bothers me about all of this. So you know what, folks? We have an entire workforce that can take over for the illegals when we send them back home.
Mm-hmm.
It's called welfare. We've been paying them to do nothing for years, for decades, for a half a century.
Which was only supposed to be a temporary pay.
Yep. So we have workers, folks. We have workers. They can work. We need to make them work. So I don't care. Then President Trump comes out, and I guess now they're making concessions for farm labor, for hotel labor, and for meat packing company labor.
So they're allowed to have illegal immigrants in those positions.
They're looking at making concessions for that, so that
would they have a green card, a work card?
I don't. Well, they're going to have to get one.
Yeah.
So I don't care. You got to make this legit somehow, and not give them
you can't
citizenship.
You can't deport some and then let some stay.
Right. I'm not giving them citizenship. No.
Right.
Green cards to let them work here. But see, what has this done? That means the last 2 weeks of these protests, they're going to think it worked. These idiots are going to think it worked. So they're going to keep going more because, hey, look, we got him. We got him. We're going to get him. We're going to go. And I don't like what he did. I'm sorry. Most of the things he does, I agree with. This one I don't agree with. You either do it or you don't do it.
Right.
Because you can't sit there and make your stance. You should have said this at the beginning. I'm going after the bad people, and you did. I'm going after the bad people. Then the next people I'm going after the ones who are just here, not working. And then at that time say the ones, you can't really say that. You truly can't. I don't know how you can do this, but then you tell us at the beginning that yes, the field work, the hotels, the meat packing, all these places that American people don't want to work. So we need our slaves, right? I'm sorry, I'm going to say it, that we need our slaves. So that's what they need. And you know what? I'm done. It's either all or nothing. Okay, I'm getting tired of this run around stuff saying, okay, with this, we're not going to do this, or we're going to do that. We're going to stand firm on these things. Oh, we're going to back off a little bit and stuff. It's guys, ICE is ICE. They're doing their jobs. So I'm going to lead in now to these politicians.
Yeah.
These politicians, they want to get arrested. Rich and I were talking about it before the show. This Padilla, the mayoral candidate out of New York that I can't, I'm sorry, his name escaped me off the top of my head. They do this for show. They know they're going to get arrested because they're going to physically assault an ICE agent. Or in Padilla's case, he went charging up to a woman who was standing at a podium giving a speech. They didn't know who he was. He was a Hispanic man. They had no idea who he was. So what was their reaction supposed to be? Now they were let go.
Right.
Okay. They were questioned.
He wanted to get arrested.
Yeah.
He got handcuffed right in front of on television, got handcuffed, put in, taken away, and then released.
Yep. And you have all of this stuff, all of this crap that they do it. Folks, if it was spontaneous, would there be cameras there? Would there be cameras there if it was spontaneous? No, this is a setup. This is a setup from
sort of like Butler was when CNN had never filmed a Trump rally, but they were at Butler when he was almost assassinated. That's ironic, right?
Yep. And Mini Ball, you made a great point. I don't think it's because Americans don't want to do those jobs. It's because of the companies that pay people peanuts. Again, modern day slavery, servants, indentured servants, where they're the worst of the worst. We just need them to come in. That's not how we think.
Well, and Jim, do you think by any stretch of the imagination that a lot of these younger people, Gen Zs, don't want to do jobs because of how they were raised or how they were, this participation type of atmosphere that they live in, that everybody is entitled. I don't know what point I'm trying to get to, other than they don't want to dig ditches. They want the $25-$30 an hour job working behind a computer. I can tell you, my wife and I owned a window cleaning business for 25 years almost, and the biggest number one problem we had, can you guess? Keeping employees, finding employees that actually wanted to, that actually wanted to work. I mean, people don't want to work. They want a paycheck. They don't want to work.
Yep. They're used to living at home. I mean, look at all the individuals that are living at home still. Without, because I was home longer than what a lot of people were, but I left my house at 21.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just read the comment. They've dumbed them down incredibly too. Boy, that's so true. I'm sorry. Go ahead, finish your point.
No, that's okay. We've all left the home when to be on our own, and now we're teaching them not to, which is what we're having a problem with.
Jim, I had a paper route. They don't have them anymore, but I had a paper route when I was 11 years old, making. My dad said, if you want money for movies or pizza or whatever, or to be able to do things with your friends, you got to go earn it.
Yep.
I earned my money when I had a paper out. And then when I was 13 and 14, I worked at a factory where my dad was a foreman and making $120 a week, which was phenomenal back in the 70s to make that kind of money. I thought I was rich, and I'd use that money during the summer and do things. Yep. But my point is, it's not that we don't have people to work these jobs. We don't have people that want to work.
Yep.
That's what it comes down to.
And that's really what it's all about. And again, like
do you have that video? Were you going to play it, or we not have time for that?
What video?
Did you have a video for about him getting arrested, or?
No, it's kind of the discussion. I won't go into a whole lot because we're running short on time. But it's not a big. I want you to play that funny video you have.
Oh yeah, and you guys, we're always about seriousness and stuff like that. But there is comedy relief here on Two Guys One Coup. Is that not right, Jim?
Yes,
we have some. We have some comedy. Sit back and listen to this. Well, maybe not. Let me try that again. There we go. Nope, that's the wrong one. Here it is.
Each day our forces grow stronger. Each day we move closer to our goal of driving the infidel... What are they?
Nothing. Carry on.
Driving the infidels from our motherland. We are not afraid to... Are they subtitles? They are, aren't they?
No.
Well, what do I need subtitles for? Can't you understand what I'm saying? I studied English at the bloody American University in Cairo.
Well, obviously I can understand what you're saying.
Oh, you see how they condescend to us, they subtitles.
Oh, maybe it's teletext, for the hearing impaired.
Teletext?
No, a lot of TVs come with teletext nowadays.
Wait, say something again.
My friend has an 80...
Hey, how come he doesn't need subtitles?
Well, obviously he's comprehensible.
Oh, I not! I speak perfect English. She sells seashells by the seashore. Peter Piper picked a pecker, pickled pepper. Round the wagon, rocks the rat. Oh!
Watch the end.
The situation remains as dangerous and volatile as ever here in northern Iraq. While the rebuilding continues...
What? I can't understand you speak English. I'm wearing your subtitles now. Oh, your things are so good.
Kerry Downs, Iraq.
Shut up!
Oh my goodness. Oh, a little comic relief there. I know the show's serious all the time, but we have a funny side. You and I.
Yeah, we always have the funny side. That's the whole reason Dale and I created this show is because we want to talk. Yeah, we talk about serious stuff and we're serious when we have to be, but guys, if we don't start laughing more often, we end up like liberals where they never smile. They never laugh.
Yeah, they're subtitling him, but not his guy behind him. That's so good.
Okay, so I do want to say real quick, because guys, we haven't heard from her this show, but I want to AOC, she wants to say something. So folks, here we go. AOC.
She's a relative of Charlie Brown's teacher.
She is spot on every time she talks. You know what's amazing though? She sounds a lot like Crockett. They sound the same.
Do you have Crockett?
Here's Crockett. Yeah, let's hear Crockett.
And what about you got Schiffler in there too?
Yeah, he's on here too. Yep. Ready? I never realized how alike they sound.
You can't even subtitle that.
That's my new thing right now. So
that's a good new thing.
Yeah. So but hey, I do want to say
yes.
Let's well, what the heck?
That needs to be longer. I love that intro.
Well,
that music is great. Come on.
The classic 80s tunes from there. So usually Wednesdays is Dale's turn to go first. So
am I going first?
We're letting you go first.
All right. When we were doing this, I thought, okay, well, I don't watch a lot of TV right now. I watch movies. It is a thing, Jim. Movies is what Sharon and I watch. We don't watch a whole lot of sitcoms or anything of that nature. So I went old school. I am going to show my age here.
And these are some good ones, though.
Yes, but I went old school, and let's just throw number 5 up there. Get Smart. Ran from 65 to 70. The Telephone Shoe. Come on. I mean, I think even Steve Carell did a remake of the movie, which was great too.
Yes.
So number 5 was Get Smart. Love that show. Used to watch it when I was a kid. Now, this one was going to be controversial to a lot of people. You either loved it or hated it, but I watched it every time.
As did I.
Wild Wild West. What is that? Robert Conrad, I believe. Or
Yeah, love that show.
Yeah, just the way it came on and all that with the cartoon figures and all that. Just and then watched it all the time. I believe it ran. I did have the 65
down there on the bottom.
Yep, 65, 69. That doesn't mean it ran for 4 years. It might have started in the fall and ended in the spring.
Correct.
So probably 3 years it ran. So okay, and then Jim, do you want to do the intro to this one? No. Number 3 was SWAT. George Forson, and the late Robert Urich.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, it was only on for 2 seasons. I think they did like 30 some shows, but I think I've watched every one of them. If you haven't watched the original SWAT from the 70s, go watch it. It's a great show. Go ahead.
The shows from the Today SWAT,
right,
with Shamar Moore is okay.
Right.
But
I've watched that one as well too. Yeah. You can watch it on Netflix, I believe, but this is the original. It was just, as a kid, hearing that come on, was just very cool. So, and again, this one ran for a little longer, but I've seen every episode and still love it to this day. Hogan's Heroes, the late Bob Crane, and just, it was a parody to, World War II, and it was just a great show. And Colonel Klink was just an idiot of a colonel, and Bob Crane was just he just knew how to manipulate him. So go watch that. That was, again, I'm showing my age, but I watched this stuff as a kid. And now you may not like these people, but it was a parody show to the Beatles, and the Monkees only ran for about 30 episodes, but again, the iconic beginning to it, how come here he comes, and go into that song, and quite frankly, they were a joke to making fun of the now Beatles, but they had some hits with I'm a Believer and Last Train to Clarksville, stuff like that. So that's still played to this day. Again, they started in late 66 and ended in early 68. Those are my 5. Again, I went old school. You didn't give me any parameters, so I kind of went what I was a kid.
It's what you wanted.
Now, right, and then again, we had talked a little bit. I would Sherlock Holmes with Benedict on there was a great series that my wife and I own the series. I think they could have made more of those. So there's some newer ones that we like as well. But again, I believe that Cheers and Seinfeld and all those lasted what they needed to, so they didn't run. I don't think they worked too soon, so didn't put those in there.
So Leslie has hers. She has here. She has Nightfall, History Channel. I did hear. I have never seen that, but I'm familiar with that. Dark Angel on Fox.
Yeah.
And then she goes into Free Radio, VH1,
and Firefly. I knew that would be on someone's
Black Sails from Stars, and Firefly. Firefly was, whenever I went out and looked at the top 5s, what other people believe, Firefly was usually number 1 almost.
Always, and I never watched it,
Cooper.
so. Yeah, I never watched it, so I couldn't. But you could even include Star Trek. I mean, it was only ran for 3 seasons, and it's so iconic today. I mean, people have, all kinds of stuff with that today.
Yeah, and Mini Ball has Numbers is 5, Almost Human 3, Last Man on Earth, 2V, and 1 Jericho. Numbers was actually a really good show.
Yeah, Jericho almost made my list too.
And Aiken has Lie to Me, Westworld, Firefly, Numbers, Deadwood. Deadwood is another one that kept coming up.
Right.
Arna, Mindhunter, Westworld, 666 Park Avenue, Person of Interest. That was a very good show.
Person of Interest was wonderful. Forgot about that one.
Rome, yeah. So I never saw Firefly. I'm going to be honest.
I never saw it either.
But it's one of the things I know it from, iconically, is from The Big Bang Theory, because Dr. Sheldon Cooper always talks about Firefly. They
I
took
never
it
saw
off
that
too
series
soon.
either.
So, but
out
yeah,
of the loop.
I guess I need to watch it. I could think it was only on for 1 or 2 years, but
I think
so,
two seasons, I
yeah.
believe.
So, but great list, guys, as usual.
Yeah.
Tarna, we do have one that matches.
Uh-oh.
Because we usually do it. Leslie, we didn't have one that matched this time, but those are very good
Well,
on the list.
Jim, there's you could, like, I went old school, so oops, we got to get rid of that. It's your own list. So
yep, yeah, and it's what you like, and it's what you go. And so
I almost had Batman on mine, the original 1966 Batman.
Now I went with a little different take here. My number 5 was the
Cold Case.
Now, it did run a long time, guys. 156 episodes, 2003, 2010. But
you wanted more.
Oh, and I think a lot of people wanted more. This was an excellent show. This was a great cast that was put together, and it was about these cold cases. That's all they did. They went out and did cold cases, and
that sounds interesting.
Here, Catherine Morris was the individual who was responsible for that. Her expertise was in that, and it was just very well done. The stories were they were very sad. Very a lot of the episodes they had referred to like people back in the early 50s and 60s
were the cases solved during this?
Yeah, the cases were solved. There were some that weren't,
cases
obviously.
were solved. Okay,
yeah.
right.
But it was there was one in particular where a black man was killed.
Okay.
And they actually found the person. And so at the end of the show, what they do is they go back and they show the people who as they were as children. They say this is, basically as a thank you for helping, find the people. But it was a great show, guys. If you ever get
it was all fiction, right? I mean,
yeah, it's all fiction. It
wasn't. They didn't use any cases that were live, true.
No, it could have been. It could have been. Some of the cases were true. It could have been, but they were just the shows were very well done.
Okay.
Number 5, Freaks and Geeks, and it's not so much the show, the cast.
Right.
I mean, Lisa Cardinelli. Right. James Franco, Seth Rogen, and I know a lot of people don't like Seth Rogen. And James.
Well, he's a hit or
Jason
miss
Segel.
type of guy.
Okay, this was from a standpoint of a show. It only 18 episodes, folks. 18 episodes is all they did, but this show was a really good show. I went back and looked. I am not even sure why they canceled it. I have no idea why they left.
Well, and a lot of these, and most of these people, and pretty much all of them, going on and become pretty big stars. So
I don't think they're hurting for money.
No, right.
So my number 3, the Unit with Dennis Haysbert and Robert Patrick.
Unit, yes.
Yeah. This was a special force group that did. It was a special force unit that went on special that only they could do and only they could solve. And 70 episodes. So some people say, well, it didn't end, but it did end too soon. That it left you. Well,
right.
What happened to these guys?
And anything with Robert Patrick is good, isn't it?
He was fantastic. And Dennis Haysbert, I love him and everything.
Right,
My favorite one was when he was in 24 as president.
Well, Robert Patrick plays the best Terminator, in my opinion.
Yes, he does. He is the best Terminator, absolutely. So, but that now number 2,
Cyclops. He's not the Terminator. Is he the time? He's not the Terminator. He's one of the.
Yeah, he was. No, he was the.
He came back as that liquid guy.
He was one of the weird dudes, the one that was hard to kill.
Yeah.
So my number 2, Hannibal. It was on Prime. I don't know if you've seen it. Only lasted 2 seasons.
See it.
Mads Mikkelsen played that part perfectly. He was Hannibal. And Hugh Dancy, for those of you who don't know, he's on Law and Order. He's the assistant DA. He's the assistant DA on Law and Order. This was a great show, guys. Kind of gross because you know what Hannibal did, but this show was very well done. Mads Mikkelsen.
Wasn't he one of the villains in James Bond too?
He was a villain in James Bond. He was a villain in the latest Indiana Jones. He plays bad guys.
Right.
So, but
he's got the face for a bad guy.
He did play one of my favorite characters in Arthur, that movie. Arthur. He did play that. But anyway, this show was great. If you get a chance to go watch it, there's only 2 seasons. You're going to be like myself when it was over. It's like,
oh, I want more.
And now this last one, I'm not sure if everybody remembers this, but Mindhunter. It was a show how the BAU started. Now the behavioral analysis unit. I'm a big serial killer nut, right? I like anything about serial killers, shows about it. This was the original. These are the original guys that interviewed serial killers to find out how we identify how we can catch them in the future.
Were they profilers then, or what?
Yeah, they're profilers. That's who but they wasn't profiling then. These two started it. These two individuals started it only ran 2 seasons. They had the third one coming in. COVID happened, right? So then they canceled the last season. They canceled season 3 when they were coming out, and they were just getting ready for BTK because they showed little bits and pieces of BTK coming in. But it was, folks, this show was absolutely phenomenal. And
is this still on Netflix?
Yeah, you can still see it on Netflix, the first 2 seasons. Dale, this was one of Dale's.
Okay.
Dale,
you got Dale, you have Dale's?
I don't have his list. He just texted it to me. And the other one he had Arrested Development, which again, another
a lot of people's
cast.
List. Right.
Another great cast. And but these shows ended way too soon. And Tarna said I almost added Hannibal. And even Tarna said, you see the leftist views on Cold Case through watching it today. That is a very good point. Yeah, he's a handsome German guy. That's my Mickelson that played that. So
I really went down a different avenue,
but your shows were great. I mean, I remember Wild Wild West. When we saw Wild Wild West, you didn't get to flip channels.
No,
you had to watch Wild Wild West.
It came on always before dinner. So, I mean, it was our show before dinner when I was a kid. But
so it was great. Thank you, folks, for participating. Great list.
Well, and if you like this, go on Netflix and watch. There's the documentaries of serial killers.
I've seen them.
I watch all those things all the time. One thing we watch is Unsolved Mysteries. My wife, they don't solve it, so it's always like a cliffhanger. So, at least you get to see what goes on. We like watching those kind of things. I don't watch a whole lot of live TV. In this day and age, we pretty much stream what we want to watch, Netflix or, I hate to say it, but YouTube is probably my go-to channel these days.
Yeah.
So I watch a lot of how-to videos.
I mean, it's funny because we have YouTube TV.
Right.
Mostly for Sunday Ticket. So, but we got to watch my Bengals. So
Bengals.
We have that, and then you get. Oh, by the way, we got. Oh, hey, welcome, Akins. I saw.
There he is.
Came on. Yep. Okay. Cool. But yeah, we did our top 5. You mentioned. And thank you for your top 5 as usual. You guys are
Forensic
great.
Files. Oh my gosh, I love Forensic Files.
Yeah. Some of these you just forget about, right? You just because it's like, well, that's why you forgot. The reason why Mindhunters is so big to me is I loved that show. I flat out loved it, and it's funny because Dale doesn't just tell me to watch a show. All right, Dale threatens my life if I don't watch the show.
What show is that?
2 shows that he told me about
were
Breaking Bad.
Okay,
and I am glad I watched the show.
Never
because
saw it.
It was an excellent show. And the second one was the one that it was oh my God, it's slipping my mind. He told me I have to watch oh my God.
What is it?
This is it's not House of the Dragon, it's the first one. It's slipping my mind. Oh my God.
Is it the barn of the
no, it's Jon Snow, and it was oh my God, I cannot believe it's
House
my
of the
favorite
Dragon
show ever.
The barn of the gargoyle.
Okay, somebody has to help me. Come on. Why can't I not think of this? Oh my God, this is really
a sign
Game
of
of Thrones.
age.
Game of Thrones.
Oh my
Dale got me on Game of Thrones. I know. I've watched that thing like 5 or 6 times. The entire series, 5 or 6
I'm out.
But Dale, those are the 2 shows that he threatened me on, and I'm glad he did threaten me on it. Mindhunters is one that I think I got him on it.
Wait,
but
it's
absolutely it's great. Anyway, so
have you ever seen Dexter?
Love it. Have you seen the new one?
I haven't. I've seen I have the whole series of Dexter on video.
It's almost. I know, Aiken. I can't believe I could not think of that.
Yeah, really, Jim?
Oh my God. So, but Dexter, the new Dexter,
I haven't
They
seen it.
could
Is it
not have picked a person to
who
play.
plays Dexter?
I can't remember his name. It's some young guy, but perfect. I mean, you want to talk? It was a perfect. The girl they have playing his sister in it, perfect. I mean, they did an excellent job putting
Man,
these people together.
that show I didn't know I was getting into when I started watching that, and there's some scenes, some things.
They're making a new one with
it was
Dexter.
like the bathroom scene. Remember that with his wife? Oh,
that was sad. There was
that
a lot
was
of
very
stuff,
sad. That was just like, oh, you serious? Why did they
Probably
do that?
One of the most shocking, right? It was like, oh my god, sir, you did that, really?
Yeah, and they brought what's his name in what was it? Charles Lithrow or whatever came in.
Lithgow.
Lithgow,
Yeah, John
thank you.
Lithgow.
Yeah, John Lithgow. Oh, and he played such a diabolical person on that show.
That character was
Oof.
that he
So,
did well.
Enough of Dexter.
Yep.
If you haven't seen it, it's
Folks,
it's not a child's for anything of young. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, you don't want to watch it with your young kids.
Nope.
But okay, folks, Rich,
yes,
as
sir.
usual, you've been a rock star.
A rock
thank you
star?
very much. Yes, thank you.
No,
very much.
I saw the video of you guys being a rock star. You guys could just right now step into Metallica and be the front man.
We need to talk to Dale. He needs to add you to that.
No.
Yeah, we'll get it.
No, because I'll show you guys up. Because
he
I am a guitar player.
Yeah, but
so.
he loves playing with that stuff, man. The
only
reason he hasn't
he is
shortened
pretty
it.
good.
The only reason he hasn't shortened it is because he hasn't had time. He's been kind of busy.
No, let me state this correctly. It is growing on me.
Yeah.
It has come to the point where I like the song because I love the other intro.
Yeah,
with the song was phenomenal.
It was
this song is growing on me, Dale.
Yep,
growing on me.
Looking forward to it.
It's actually very cool. I don't have a problem with the length of it, so I know you.
We do have to cut it back. We do.
But
it's cool. It's fine.
Maybe you could cut out the place where you're playing air drums.
Yeah, because I'm not very good.
Or you got a spot. Where
I don't know why he gave.
You got three drummers there, and you got air drums. So
I don't know why.
And then the horn one.
Yeah,
take the devil Jim out.
So, but Rich, thank you again for joining.
Yes, absolutely.
You will be. We're going to need you in in July, early July, because I will be unavailable. So. We'll get with you on that, though.
Yeah,
folks,
let me know.
Please, tune into us Dale will be back on Monday. Rip Run, ready to go. And folks, he has not done a show in a while, so he is probably going to be unhinged. Okay.
And with closing, again, I want to say, first of all, thank you, Jim and Dale, for allowing me to come on. I know your show means a lot to you guys. And for anybody sitting in this seat, I know that you want someone that kind of agrees with you. So I don't agree with you at all. So no, I'm kidding.
now that you think about it.
Well, now that I think about it, I don't, whatever. No, I appreciate it. And anytime and the audience, I appreciate you guys accepting me as one of the two guys. So I appreciate everything that you guys do, and looking forward to things to come.
Yeah, Leslie, you're right that I don't have the top 5 for Monday. So, so we got to go here pretty soon too.
Yeah, you got a few minutes,
folks. Tune in to X Talk Live at noon with Crash and Kitty. Thank you again, Crash and Kitty, for allowing us to be on this network, the Fury Cast. This is the 4th episode on the Fury Cast. Could not be more happy to be on this network. We are growing. We're getting those numbers up.
And Jim, why don't you post on your X
will
account?
Post on X.
Folks,
listen up. Top 5 pay attention. We will post our on X what our top 5 will be. Top 5 sports franchises. So next Monday, I'll let Dale know. The show is top 5 sports franchises. So number 1 and number 2 better be the Cincinnati Reds and the Cincinnati Bengals. That's just all I'm saying.
You mean the Cleveland Indians and Cavaliers?
Yeah, because I'm going to get ripped a lot, but those are my favorite franchises, right? Okay, so let's do it this way. Let's say top 5 franchises
No,
it can be your favorite teams if they are in fact a top 5 franchise.
no.
Let me
I knew you
rephrase that.
were gonna go because that puts the Cleveland Browns out. And
Well, is the Cincinnati Bengals out too? The Reds?
yeah,
Yes, maybe they could be a top franchise, but when you compare it
but
to
the Browns have never been in the Super Bowl. The last time we ever
But-
won anything was in '64. So,
but that's a good one. Top
yeah.
5 sports franchises. Okay, not sport.
It's tough
So
to be
you're
a
talking
Cleveland,
some hockey, some
Cleveland
pretty good hockey
fan.
teams out there. You put, so. All right, folks.
All right.
I
Thanks again,
guess
Jim.
it's time for us to go because we got to get going.
Yes, sir.
God bless, and thank you very much. And don't
Absolutely.
forget to go to gritgearapparel.com and
Appreciate it.
lockandloadcoffee.com.
Black and Load Coffee.
Again,
And
got my
I got
Lock
the
and
same
Load.
one.
Look at Jim putting exceptions for himself. Well, that's typically me, Leslie. So,
Oh, you
folks.
guys. And watch for the 2 guys, 1 coup swag coming out.
And we'll talk about more of that next week too. Thank you,
All
sir. Bye, everybody. Have a great weekend, and see you later.
Final bell, but the war rolls on. Truth was spoken, the mask is gone. 2 guys, 1 coup, the mission is clear. Breaking the silence, year after year. With steel and soul, we took a stand. Fury cast power across the land. 2G1C, the fire won't fade. We're forged in truth and never afraid. Thank you for watching, for taking the ride. You stood with us on the freedom side. Through lies and fear, we lit the spark. Now we leave our mark in the dark. We'll be back with thunder and flame. No sellouts here, we play no game. Truth still lives, it lives in you. Carry the torch for 2G1C2. So raise your voice, let the silence break. With every word, the tyrant shake. This was more than just a show. It's the spirit that refuses to go. Thank you for watching, for taking the ride. You stood with us on the freedom side. Through lies and fear, we lit the spark. Now we leave our mark in the dark. We'll be back with thunder and flame. No sellouts here, we play no game. Truth still lives, it lives in you. Carry the torch for 2G1C2. Furycast Network. Where